Hey everyone, this is Rob from Craft University. We've talked a lot about dice and beginning play, but craps is a team sport, and you need to know the positions. There are 4 dealers at the table. That includes the Boxman, who sits here. I'll pop up a graphic right after this to show you a little bit more in detail. So you got the Boxman. The Stickman sits right here. He's on the player side of the table, and this is the stick that individual uses. And then you have a base dealer on each side of the table. The base dealer, this is their chips that they use to pay out all the players on the table. They also control the on-off puck. So first, why don't we talk about the Boxman? And I've heard numerous things. Boxman, banker, their primary duty is to guard all of these chips that are out here. They hand off chips to the dealers to pay the players out. They're not interacting directly with the players. They handle chip exchanges, so when somebody colors up, it comes to the Boxman to count it down and to pay it out. And they usually, if it's a winning player, they might pay out like $3,000 or $4,000. If it's 4,100, then the base dealer will make up that difference and then pay that out to the player. They also manage high limit players and casino comps, and they report directly to the pit boss. And if surveillances are needed on controversial calls, they will be able to call them. Think of the Boxman as a referee, banker, all rolled into one. They are really keeping the flow of the game with the money in and out, and that is their primary duty. Next is the Stickman. The Stickman stands over here really on the player side, and you can see from this video, this is the dice boat, and they are really in charge of controlling the dice, pushing it to the shooter. They call the rolls with energy. They control all of these center bets. That is them. So one thing that they don't do, the Stickman does not pay any player directly. If somebody throws in a 25, a green chip, and they want to place a horn bet even, so that would be $5 per number, and they would need $5 back. They would call out to the base dealer, and the base dealer would then pay out the $5, and the player would pick them up. And they also set the game's pace. So I've seen very pushy Stickman where it's hard to get all your bets in before the dice are in the shooter's hands. That's good and bad. I've seen very slow Stickman that they slow down the game pace and the rhythm, but everybody can pick their own. The Stickman is the hype man of the game, brings energy, speed, and controls the table. I've seen Stickmen with some funny calls. I mean, in a later video, we will go over some of the funny calls from Stickmen that, it's fun. Listening to a good Stickman, they really make it an enjoyable game. The next dealer, and there's two of them, there's a base dealer, they're on the left side and the right side. They take bets from the players on their side, they pay out winnings, they collect losses. As you can see where they stand, they can reach just about everywhere. They manage buy-ins, they manage color-ups with the help, buy-ins and color-ups with the help of the Boxman. And then they communicate any odd activity they see from the players to the Boxman. And then the Boxman sometimes will talk to the pit boss, or they'll call surveillance to find out what exactly is going on. These dealers keep the game moving. You know, the one thing about the dealers, when you tip the dealer for doing a good job, if the stickman is doing a great job, this base dealer is doing an okay job, the Boxman is doing a good job, you should still tip them. And I'm not talking tip them on every hand, but if you're winning, throw them a little bit. Sometimes they like to gamble with you, and you can either ask them, where would you like me to play this? Would you like to collect it? And of course, they're going to play it with you. And watch how they bet on a tip. They're usually betting on a good odds bet. So they know they have a really good chance of winning. One thing that you should do, you should never hand money or chips directly to a base dealer. Always put it in the comb, here. Not, if you're standing over on the side, don't put it down here because that might be confused with their chips. Always try to put the money and enunciate really well, because these base dealers, they are listening to everybody, the stickman, the Boxman, and even sometimes what's going on the other side of the table. So tell the dealer, I want to go 110 inside, and they know exactly to put your money down exactly like that. We know 6 and 8 need to be divisible by 6, so that's why we have $30 there. And then 5 and 9. That is called inside, 110 inside. One thing they also do, they control the puck. They listen to the stickman on the come out roll, the call, and sometimes they help the stickman with the call, but they'll say, oh, the stickman will call out easy 6. So they'll put the number on so everybody at the table knows that, hey, the point is 6, that's what we're going for. If you have a pass line bet, what kind of odds do you want on a 6? It's much easier to roll a 6 than a 5 and a 4, or a 9 and a 10. Same odds for 6 and 8. So one of the next things, and I'll throw up that graphic again, where do you want to stand as a player? So we've got positions here all around the table. If you look at these fire bets, we've got 7 positions to stand. And in my graphic, you'll see where do you want to stand? Are you a beginner? The recommendation is, if you're a beginner and want to shoot or don't shoot, stand right here. Stand close to the stickman. Sometimes the stickman will give you some hints, but if you stand here and shoot and get good at shooting from here, because it's a shorter distance than back here, it's advantageous to you. Also, being able to see everything in this perspective is great. You see all the box numbers, you see field, pass, you've got a good view. So I recommend for beginning players right here. I've been playing craps probably a decade. Where do I like to stand? I like to stand right in this area. Here, sometimes if you get too close to the stickman, you get you might get hit. I'm tall, I'm 6'4", and sometimes they'll catch you with a stick. Not a big deal, but I like standing right here. Next, for intermediate players, where do you think they like to stand? These two positions right here on these corners. Why are those good? You'll interact with more players. If you stand right here, you've got all these players, you've got these players. This is really sometimes the center of activity. You can also shoot when you're ready. This is a good spot to shoot. Either one of these spots really is a good place to shoot. And then you'll start to see the rhythm of the game here. And last, for advanced players and dice setters, the recommended spot would be right here. You've got a clear view to the other side to where you can throw the dice. There'll be chips. Sometimes there'll be chips out here, field bets, don't pass, pass line. So that gives you the opportunity as an advanced player and advanced shooting tactics to land where you want to all the time. Preferably, you would land right in here, so it would take a bounce and come back in and hit off the diamond back. And really, when I try to shoot, I'm playing here, I always try just to roll up and touch the back. Now, if you're not touching the back on a regular cadence, they will call you out for that and force you to start bouncing it off the back wall. So if you take some dice, you really want something like that. Hard four. And that is more of an advanced tactic. And really, when I'm shooting from the end, I like to hit the same spot in the table. For right now, it would be right here, because you don't have the opportunity of it bouncing out. Again, hard six. So we got two hard ways in a row. If you like to bet the hard ways like I do, fantastic. We're making money off the hard ways. One more time. Boom, six. I also like to play 6 and 8. Actually, I like to play the whole inside, but 6 and 8, you press those babies up, we're talking money. Some other people that you might want to be aware of is there's always a floorman in the pit. And the floorman, he has a series of tables. Not all of the tables, but he might be watching craps, a blackjack table, roulette, and he's walking back and forth, making sure that everything's operating smoothly. A pit boss is the big guy. He's walking the floor quite a bit. Sometimes he's on the phone, calling in for surveillance, whatnot, doing his thing. And then we have surveillance. There's usually a room. Nobody knows where it's at in the casino, but they're up there, they're watching. When they get a call, then they start focusing in. If they think that there's somebody cheating by dropping some extra money, if it hits a 12, this table pays triple on a 12, and if they can drop money, you just won't believe what some people are able to get away with. I've seen it. this many times in the casino, and it's just amazing. One of the things, when you see things, they have that saying, when you see something, say something. Sometimes the eye in the sky is seeing everything. Everything will catch up. I stay out of it. I just don't want that type of confrontation at the table. Every person around the table, from the base dealers to the boxman, even the folks behind the scene, play an integral part in keeping the game fast, fair, and fun. For when you understand the crew, you feel more confident, you get paid faster, you know how to navigate all the situations. And really, I have found that the dealers like it when you tip them, but also like them to play along with you if things are going well for you. So that's everything about the table, the players, the crew, where to stand. So I'm Rob from Craps University. Whether you're brand new or a table veteran, respect the crew and they'll take care of you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you at the tables. Thanks.